All right, so we're diving deep into AI today,
Oh, yeah.
specifically a company called DeepSeek.
Okay.
And, they've been kind of making some noise in the tech world.
Mm.
You sent over a whole bunch of articles about them. And frankly, some of the stuff I read while I was prepping was just mind-blowing.
Right.
Like their AI models developed on a shoestring budget.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking pocket change compared to what companies like OpenAI are spending.
That's wild.
So I'm really excited to kind of dig into all this with you.
Yeah, should be interesting.
Luckily, we've got our AI expert here to help us make sense of it all.
Happy to be here.
So what about DeepSeek has you most intrigued?
Well, I think what's fascinating here is how DeepSeek is really turning
Yeah.
the traditional AI development model on its head. They're
Okay.
not just building powerful AI.
Right.
They're doing it in a way that's incredibly efficient and transparent.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Sure.
So for starters, who exactly is DeepSeek?
So DeepSeek was founded just last year in 2023 by a former hedge fund entrepreneur named Liang Wenfeng.
Interesting.
And they're really focused on creating these large language models. But there's a twist. They're all open source.
You know, I saw open source mentioned a lot in those articles, but
Yeah.
honestly, I'm not totally clear what that means in this context.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Is it kind of like giving away the secret recipe?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
That's what makes them so disruptive.
Okay.
They're making their code publicly available.
So anyone can just grab it.
Yeah, anyone can study it, use it, even modify it.
Wow.
It's a huge departure from how secretive big tech companies usually are with AI.
Yeah, that's true. So what's the big deal about being open source? Why is everyone making such a fuss about it?
Well, for one, it promotes transparency.
Okay.
We can actually see how these models are built,
Right.
which I think helps build trust and understanding, which is especially important with such a powerful technology.
I read about concerns with data privacy, though, especially since DeepSeek servers are in China.
Yes, that's a valid concern.
So what's the story there?
Well, data privacy is a major concern, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the location of those servers definitely raises questions.
Yeah.
But there's no evidence so far to suggest they are mishandling data.
Okay.
It's just something to keep in mind as DeepSeek kind of evolves.
Got it. So it's a situation worth keeping an eye on,
Right.
but not jumping to conclusions.
Definitely.
Okay. So going back to this whole open source thing,
Yeah.
transparency is a plus. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that makes this approach so significant?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Open source also fosters collaboration.
Okay.
You can think of it as like a global team of researchers and developers,
Mhm.
all working together, building on each other's progress.
Okay.
It could really speed up AI advancements
I can see that.
in a way that wouldn't be possible if everyone was working in silos.
Right, right. That makes sense. So we've got this relatively new company embracing open source, encouraging transparency and collaboration.
Yes.
But they're also making waves with this AI model.
Yeah.
DeepSeek R1, right.
DeepSeek R1 is their flagship model.
And it's already doing some pretty impressive things.
It's demonstrating some really impressive capabilities,
Okay.
particularly in math and coding.
Interesting.
What's remarkable is it's rivaling models from companies like OpenAI,
Right.
who obviously have way more resources.
And that brings me back to something I was just floored by.
Yeah.
You mentioned that DeepSeek developed their models on a tight budget,
Yeah.
but one article mentioned they spent less than $6 million.
Wow.
I mean, that's basically nothing in the world of AI.
Yeah, it really is remarkable.
How is that even possible?
Well, one of the articles talked about their unique training method.
Okay.
They use around 2,000 Nvidia H800 series GPUs.
Hold on. Back up a sec.
Sure.
Can you explain what those are? What are these H800 GPUs and why are they so important for AI?
Think of GPUs as the engines that power AI development. They're these specialized computer chips designed for the really heavy lifting involved in training AI models.
Okay.
The Nvidia H800 series is one of the most powerful out there.
And DeepSeek used a bunch of them.
They use them strategically to maximize their computing power.
Okay.
Basically, instead of throwing money at that problem, they got creative
Wow.
and found a more efficient way to achieve their goals.
And they did all that in just 55 days?
Yes, it's an incredible feat.
It really is.
They've shown it's possible to develop advanced AI without breaking the bank,
Right.
just by being smart and efficient with resources.
That's amazing. And it's not just the tech world that's impressed.
What do you mean?
DeepSeek's arrival kind of sent ripples through the stock market. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like when they launched companies like Nvidia, Microsoft, and Google all saw their stock prices dip.
Yeah, Nvidia was hit the hardest.
Really?
A drop of 18%.
18%. Wow. That's a big reaction. What does that tell us about how the industry perceives DeepSeek?
I think it shows they're being taken seriously as a competitor.
Right.
I mean, their technology, coupled with the open source approach,
Right.
and their success on a limited budget.
Yeah.
It's shaking things up.
It's like they're challenging the established order, forcing everyone to reconsider their strategies.
Definitely.
That's pretty exciting, actually.
It is exciting, yeah.
Even industry leaders like Satya Nadella,
Microsoft.
yeah, Microsoft's CEO and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman have publicly praised DeepSeek.
Oh, wow.
Called their achievements super impressive.
That's quite an endorsement.
Okay, so we've got this mix of admiration, maybe a little bit of nervousness from the big players.
Yeah.
What about the wider AI community? What are they saying about DeepSeek?
Well, there's definitely a lot of buzz
Yeah.
and enthusiasm.
Okay.
But alongside all that praise,
Yeah.
there are some valid concerns about the potential downsides of their approach.
All right, let's talk about those. What are people worried about?
Well, one big concern is sustainability.
Okay.
Can DeepSeek keep up this momentum?
Yeah.
Can they maintain this level of innovation and progress,
Right.
especially with a limited budget in the long run?
Yeah, especially when competing with companies that have way more resources.
Exactly.
That's a good point. What else?
Another concern is misuse of their technology.
Okay.
I mean, DeepSeek's open source AI models, while beneficial for collaboration and transparency,
Right.
could be exploited for bad things.
Like, what kind of bad things are we talking about?
Well, one article highlighted the potential for DeepSeek's tech to be used to generate, like, hyper-realistic fake news.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's a serious concern,
Yeah.
given how open their models are.
Right.
Another article was concerned their models could be used to develop cyber weapons.
Jeez.
These are just two examples.
Right.
But they show how serious this is.
Yeah.
It's like a double-edged sword,
Okay.
fostering collaboration and innovation on one hand, but increasing the risk of bad actors getting their hands on powerful tools on the other.
That's a good point. Okay, so it seems like DeepSeek is prompting some big questions
Definitely.
about how we develop and manage AI technology.
For sure.
But before we get too deep into the potential downsides,
Yeah.
I want to circle back to something you said earlier, this potential for DeepSeek to democratize AI research and development.
Right.
Can you break that down a bit?
Of course.
Okay.
DeepSeek is challenging the traditional model of AI development, which has always been dominated by large tech companies.
Yeah, with tons of resources.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But DeepSeek is showing that innovation isn't limited to those with deep pockets.
Right.
By making their technology open source and achieving these breakthroughs on a shoestring budget.
So it's about leveling the playing field.
Exactly.
Making AI development accessible to a wider range of players.
Right.
So not just the big guys.
Right. It opens up opportunities for smaller companies, research institutions, even individual developers
Wow.
to contribute to AI advancement.
That's amazing.
And it could lead to a surge of innovation from all these unexpected sources.
It's pretty exciting to think about.
It is exciting.
Like, imagine a world where anyone with a good idea
Yeah.
and the drive to learn can contribute to AI, not just these huge corporations.
What kind of breakthroughs might we see?
That's a good question, but let's be realistic for a sec.
Okay.
DeepSeek is still a young company.
Right.
They've had these impressive early wins.
How?
But can they really keep this up? Can they actually compete with the giants in the long run?
That's the million-dollar question.
Is.
There are definitely challenges ahead.
Like what?
Well, maintaining this level of innovation on a limited budget,
Right.
it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And as we said, there are those concerns about misuse of their technology.
Right. Right. So the road ahead for DeepSeek, it's uncertain.
Yes, yeah.
But even if they don't become the next Google or OpenAI, their impact is undeniable.
Right, absolutely.
They've shaken things up,
Yeah?
started some important conversations,
Definitely.
and shown the world that you don't always need a billion-dollar budget to do groundbreaking AI development.
It's an inspiring story.
It really is. I'm curious, though, what stands out to you as the most significant aspect of DeepSeek's story?
You know, to me, it's how they've shifted the conversation around AI development.
Okay.
They've shown that it's possible to get amazing results with limited resources
Yeah.
through a combination of clever engineering
Right.
and a real commitment to open source collaboration.
So they're kind of changing the game a little bit.
I think so.
Makes you wonder if this approach could lead to a whole new era of AI development,
Yeah.
one that's more inclusive and accessible.
Definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
It really raises the question.
What's that?
If DeepSeek keeps going like this, if their open source model gets even more popular,
Yeah.
what could that mean for the future of AI?
It's a big question.
It is.
Will we see more smaller players? A surge in grassroots innovation?
It's possible.
Or will those big companies, will they adapt
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hold on to their power?
Right.
It's like we're at a crossroads,
Yeah.
watching this new path emerge. Unsure of where it might lead, but excited by the possibilities.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to think about what this could mean, not just for the tech industry,
Right.
but for the world.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
And that's what makes this so interesting.
Yeah.
DeepSeek's story isn't just about a company or an AI model.
It's bigger than that.
It's a tiny glimpse into all these massive forces
Wow.
that are shaping the future of technology
Right.
and how it impacts our lives.
Yeah, it's about the power of ideas,
Absolutely.
challenging assumptions, and how even these small players can make a big difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You know, when I first started looking into DeepSeek,
Yeah.
I thought this would just be about understanding a company and their technology,
Mm-hmm.
but it's become so much more than that.
I agree.
It's a deep dive into the future of AI
Yeah.
and what role we play.
It's about all of us.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that AI isn't just something happening over there in Silicon Valley or research labs.
Right.
It's something that's going to impact every part of our lives.
Absolutely.
The way we work, the way we interact with each other,
Yeah.
and with the world.
It's all connected.
It really is.
And DeepSeek's story, their focus on efficiency, transparency, and collaboration.
Right.
It kind of offers a glimpse into a potential future for AI
Okay.
that is both really exciting and challenging.
Yeah, a future where the power of AI isn't just for a select few, but it's accessible to everyone. It's a future where we can use it to solve some of the world's biggest problems,
Yeah,
but also we have to be mindful of the risks and challenges, right?
absolutely.
It's a future that's still being written.
It is.
And DeepSeek is just one chapter in that story.
One chapter in a much larger story.
Exactly.
But it's a chapter that I think can inspire others,
Yeah,
spark new ideas,
I hope so.
and challenge all of us to think deeply about the world we want to create with this technology.
Well said. And as we kind of wrap up this first part of our deep dive into DeepSeek,
Yeah.
I'm left with this question.
Okay.
If DeepSeek's approach, this open source collaboration and resourcefulness, if it really takes hold,
Yeah.
what will the AI landscape look like in 5, 10, even 20 years?
It's a big question.
Yeah, it is a big question.
I don't know if we have the answer to that yet.
We'll have to wait and see,
Exactly.
but it's definitely something worth thinking about.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's take a quick break,
Sounds good.
and we'll be back in a moment to continue our depth dive into DeepSeek.
Looking forward to it. It's interesting how DeepSeek's story kind of connects to some of the bigger trends we're seeing in AI.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that tension between fostering innovation
Right.
and managing the potential risks. It's a tough balance.
Yeah, we were just talking about misuse with fake news and cyber weapons.
Right.
Pretty unsettling to think about,
It is.
especially with something as powerful as AI.
And these concerns aren't just about DeepSeek.
Right.
The fact that their models are open source just makes things even more complex.
So how do we even begin to navigate this? What's being done to mitigate the risks,
Yeah.
but also encourage progress?
It's a multifaceted challenge for sure.
Okay.
For one thing, governments are starting to pay attention.
Okay.
You mentioned that article about the Italian Data Protection Authority.
Right. They're looking into DeepSeek's practices.
Exactly.
They know.
And here in the U.S.,
Yeah.
the National Security Council is reviewing potential national security risks related to AI.
So governments are recognizing they need to step in.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe some regulation is needed?
It's possible.
Okay.
And it's not just about reacting to threats either.
Oh, okay.
There's this growing movement to establish ethical guidelines for AI.
Like how to develop it and use it responsibly.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Organizations like the Partnership on AI,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
they're working on best practices and promoting responsible AI development.
And who's part of that partnership?
It includes some big names.
Okay.
Google, Microsoft, even OpenAI.
So they're all coming together on this.
It seems like it.
That's good to hear.
It is.
Sounds like there's a growing awareness that we need to find that balance
Yeah.
between the the good that AI can do and the potential risks.
For sure.
But those are big organizations,
Right.
governments, companies.
Yeah.
What about us? What can regular people do?
That's a great question. And honestly, more people need to be asking it.
I agree.
I think being informed is crucial.
Okay.
We need to be part of the conversation,
Well,
like demand transparency,
yeah,
accountability.
from the people who are building and using these AI systems.
Okay.
So we need to be informed citizens in the age of AI.
I like that.
Okay, I like that too. But going back to DeepSeek for a second,
Yeah.
one of the things that I just find so fascinating is how efficient they are with their resources.
Yeah.
I mean, developing a large language model like DeepSeek R1
Right.
on less than $6 million, that's unheard of.
It's pretty remarkable.
It's like they figured out how to make cutting-edge AI accessible to everyone.
That's a compelling narrative, that's for sure.
It is.
It sparked a lot of debate about whether this could be a model for others.
You mean like, could we see a future where AI development is more democratized?
Exactly.
Where it's not just about who has the most money?
Right.
I mean, that's a really exciting possibility.
It is.
Imagine a world where anyone with a good idea
Mm-hmm.
and some motivation to learn
Yeah.
could contribute to AI.
Not just massive companies.
Yeah, not just them. But let's be real for a minute.
Okay.
DeepSeek's still a young company.
True.
They've had an amazing start.
Yeah, they have.
But can they keep it up? Can they really compete with the giants?
It's the question everyone's asking,
Right.
and it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Maintaining this level of innovation
Mm-hmm.
with limited resources,
Hmm.
that's a huge challenge.
For sure.
And AI is moving so fast.
Right.
Staying ahead of the curve is going to be tough.
Right. And then there's those concerns we talked about.
Yes.
Data privacy, misuse of the technology.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the road ahead for DeepSeek, it's uncertain.
Definitely uncertain.
But even if they don't become the next Google or OpenAI,
Mm-hmm.
they've already had an impact.
Oh, yeah. Undeniable.
They've shaken things up, started important conversations,
For sure.
shown that you don't need a billion-dollar budget to do groundbreaking work.
I think that's one of the most inspiring parts of their story.
It really is. I'm curious, what do you think is the most significant part of their story?
For me, it's how they've shifted the conversation around AI development.
Okay, how so?
They've shown that you can achieve amazing results with limited resources,
Mm-hmm.
with a mix of clever engineering and a commitment to open source.
So they're kind of changing the rules of the game.
In a way, yeah.
Makes you wonder if this could lead to a new era of AI,
Totally.
one that's more inclusive and accessible.
Yeah, a more democratic AI landscape.
Exactly.
And it raises a big question.
Oh,
If DeepSeek keeps going on this path,
right.
if open source becomes even more popular,
Mm-hmm.
what will the AI landscape look like in the future?
Wow. In like 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, or even 20 years.
It's like we're at this crossroads,
Right.
watching this new path emerge, unsure of where it leads,
Mm-hmm.
but excited by the possibilities.
This powerful image.
It is. And it's fascinating to think about what this means,
Yeah.
not just for the tech industry,
right.
but for all of us.
It's a big deal. This goes way beyond just technology.
It really does.
DeepSeek's story is about so much more than just a company or an AI model.
It's about these massive forces shaping the future
Exactly.
and how it'll impact our lives.
It's about the power of ideas,
Right.
challenging assumptions, and how even small players can make a difference.
DeepSeek's story has made me realize something.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
When I first started looking into them,
Mm-hmm.
I thought this deep dive would be just about a company.
Right. There's technology.
Yeah. But it's become so much bigger than that.
I agree.
It's like a deep dive into the future of AI itself.
And the role we all play in shaping that future.
Exactly. It's about realizing that AI isn't something happening over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to impact all of us.
Absolutely.
It'll change the way we work, the way we interact with each other, and the world around us.
It's all connected.
DeepSeek, with their focus on efficiency and transparency.
Right. And collaboration.
Yeah, it offers a glimpse into what the future of AI could be.
Exciting and challenging.
Right, a future where the power of AI isn't limited to just a few,
Mm-hmm.
but it's accessible to everyone,
To all of us.
where we can use it to solve problems.
Yeah.
But we got to be mindful of the risks too, right?
Absolutely. We have to be responsible.
So it's a future that's still being written,
And we're all part of writing it.
and DeepSeek is just one chapter in that story.
One chapter in a much bigger story.
Okay, so as we move towards the end of our deep dive into DeepSeek,
Mm-hmm.
I'm left with this question.
Okay, I'm listening.
If DeepSeek's approach, with their open source and resourcefulness,
Yeah.
if it really catches on,
Mm-hmm.
what will the AI world look like in 5 years?
10 years. 20 years.
Yeah, what kind of changes will we see? Wow, we've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
We have.
Started with unpacking who DeepSeek is.
Right, the small company making waves.
Yeah, their open source AI.
And how efficient they are.
Then we got into some pretty deep stuff.
We did.
Like the potential for things to go wrong.
Yeah, misuse, ethical concerns.
It's a lot to think about.
It really is.
And I think what's striking is how this goes beyond the tech itself.
It does.
DeepSeek's story, it touches on bigger ideas.
Like access, collaboration, responsibility.
Exactly. The articles you sent really highlighted that. And I think it comes back to something we talked about before.
What's that?
This idea of democratizing AI.
Right, making it more accessible.
So if DeepSeek's approach keeps spreading, could we see a future where AI isn't just for governments and big tech?
A lot of people are asking that question.
Yeah.
And it's a tough one.
It is. What do you think?
Well, there are definitely arguments on both sides.
Okay.
On one hand, wider access could lead to a burst of innovation.
Okay.
With individuals and smaller groups solving problems we haven't even thought of yet.
It's like that saying, necessity is the mother of invention.
Exactly.
Make AI more accessible, and maybe we'll unlock all this new creativity.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there's the other side.
The risks.
Yeah. If these tools become more available, how do we make sure they're used for good?
Right. How do we prevent them from falling into the wrong hands?
It's like we're always trying to find that balance.
Yeah.
Between progress and protection.
A constant balancing act.
Makes me think about what you said earlier.
What's that?
About being informed citizens in the age of AI.
Absolutely.
This isn't just for the tech experts.
It's for everyone.
We all need to be part of this conversation.
I agree.
So as we wrap up,
what
are some key things you want our listener to take away from all this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that DeepSeek shows us innovation can come from anywhere.
Yeah, not just the usual suspects.
It challenges our assumptions about how AI is developed and who gets to shape its future.
And it highlights how important it is to be aware of the bigger picture.
Right, as AI becomes more and more a part of our lives.
We need to talk about ethics, about who has access.
And what kind of future we want to build.
Exactly.
DeepSeek gives us a glimpse of what that future could be.
Oh,
more open, more collaborative, more accessible.
I like that.
It's full of potential, but it also has real challenges.
That we need to face head on.
Absolutely.
This future, it's still being written.
And we all have a hand in writing it.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of DeepSeek.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you learned something new and that we've given you something to think about as we all navigate this ever-changing world of AI.
I think we've all got some thinking to do.
We do.
About AI and its impact on our lives.
Well said. That's a great place to leave it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thanks again for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world of AI.